How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Dayvy livestream. This livestream is going to revolve around Game Week 2, so hopefully you guys are absolutely as pumped as I am considering the Game Week 1 score. So firstly, I just want to say I apologize for being late. I unfortunately forgot that I do face cam now, so I had not set up the webcam or anything, so that explains that 5 or 10 minutes that I took. So please don't hold that against me. I'm learning as we go along, but hopefully the stream is still looking as good as it did in Game Week 1. Before we get into kind of the questions and the Game Week 2 team, I just wanted to give you guys a review of Game Week 1 because I forgot to include the rank in my team selection video. So a little bit of a noob move there, so I do apologize for that. So I'm just going to go over a quick review. 101 points, obviously. I don't think the ranking Game Week 1 matters that much because, as you guys know, from now till about Game Week 10, there's going to be a lot of movement in the overall ranks, but we are currently at about 300k places. The one interesting thing that I did do earlier in the week was I was quite excited after the start. I'm not going to lie to you guys. It was like 101 points. You know, that's a massive score. So what I did was I went back, I think it was 3 seasons ago to where the season I finished 22nd, and I wanted to see kind of where I was at in Game Week 1 there. And I was a little bit sad afterwards because I noticed that I was 50k in the world and 300k is quite a bit off. I'm not saying that you can't finish in the top like 25 if you don't get like a really good Game Week 1 score, but for me it was just a little bit disheartening to see, although we scored 101 points, it seemed like a lot of managers did at the end of the day. But in terms of the actual team that we have selected right now, it's pretty similar to the Game Week 2 team. The only thing is that I have changed the captaincy. So yes, you'll see there that we have had a captaincy change to Mo Salah. I don't know if you guys can see the shirt, but we've got the Mo Salah shirt on today. So I've kind of been swayed a little bit. I don't know why. I think maybe it's just because of the fact that I do support Liverpool and I really don't like watching them. And then in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, I hope Mo Salah doesn't bang because then it's going to be bad for my FPL team. So I know it is the first game of the game week, and that's usually a little bit of bad luck. There's also the kind of subject of Mo Salah apparently not scoring in Game Week 2 ever. So, I mean, maybe he can smash that record today. And I think he has to get 2 goals to break some record of all-time goal scoring in a certain amount of time. So, I mean, maybe he can get it, and that'll be quite a nice thing. But I just think it's the Anfield hype. I don't know, as I said, a Liverpool fan, I'm getting hyped for that fixture, so I think it's going to be a good game. But I do think that Bruno Fernandes is still equally, if not better, of a captaincy option, just because I personally think that Southampton away is a better fixture than Burnley at home. I know you guys can argue that, you can bring up the stats, but I think just on the eye test and on the kind of stat side of things, I think that Southampton are looking a lot worse since they've lost Vestergaard, and that's just something that we have to deal with. But I think that because I do have Greenwood, maybe a bit of coverage there. The big thing about this game week, though, has been our main midfielder from Man City, Gundogan, apparently being fit. So at the start of the week, he was out, going to be out for like 7 weeks or something, dislocated his shoulder. Arm was lying on the other side of the pitch or something like that, but now he's back, made a miraculous recovery, and it looks like he could be starting against Norwich. Now, I don't know if he will. I'm just, as I said in the team selection, any kind of slither of hope of a Man City player playing against Norwich, I'm going to keep them. So we did take the minus, we did take the price hit. I mean, we had a 0.1 drop last night, but maybe he comes back and punishes the owners. I mean, we've seen the story before, so I'm just hoping it plays out in kind of the profit for our own team. But let me get on to the questions. So sorry, I actually have not brought up the chat here, so thanks for joining. Sorry, I saw there was lots of people joining before I went live. I do appreciate you guys being so on time, and as I said, I do apologize. It's my own fault. I didn't set up the webcam. Actually, I should have probably said, is the stream looking fine, first of all, because that would have been a better thing to start off with, not me kind of rambling about my team. So if the stream is looking fine, I would appreciate you guys just saying something in chat. No, there is a little bit of a delay, so I will only get it in a couple of minutes. I like the hoodie, thank you. I think it's more like a flannel / hoodie, but yeah, the Mo Salah shirt, I think you guys can see it. Yeah, I'll pick this up like a season or 2 ago, and I think it looks quite nice. Heavy night, no. Hopefully not a heavy night. Hopefully I don't look that bad. I did wake the face up this morning, put on the moisturizer and everything, so hopefully it's not looking that bad, but no, not a heavy night. Unfortunately, as far as I know, in SA, we still have a 10 p.m. curfew, so things are still kind of locked down on this side of things. But luckily, the vaccines have opened in South Africa for over 18, so now I can go get vaccinated as soon as possible. How's it, says Sharish? How's it, buddy? Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully your Game Week 2 team is looking stellar. And that's the thing about this Game Week 2 team. I mean, just look at that midfield. I'm really excited for this upcoming game week. And you know what that means. Whenever you hyped about a game week, it's always the opposite. So incoming 30 points 30 points for total this week, and Mo Salah and Bruno both blank. I mean, that's probably going to be what happens. Thanks, Seppo. Thanks for saying it looks good. Neil saying, should I sell Matty Cash to buy Luca Digne? So unfortunately, with the Aston Villa defender, I personally don't think he's not going to play. I think that it's too cruel to kind of take him off at halftime because he's getting absolutely destroyed by Ismail Assar, and then bench him the next game and not kind of give him a chance to recover, because that, honestly, that can ruin a player. So I don't think that that the Aston Villa, actually, you're talking about Matty Cash, I was talking about Matt Target, so just ignore everything I said about Matt Target. With Matty Cash, I think you have to hold for the next two. It's Newcastle, it's Brentford as far as I know. If you bought an Aston Villa asset, you've brought him in for these three fixtures. Don't just make a decision on one game week. I would probably prolong that move a little bit. And also you have to look at Luca Digne. He's playing Leeds. I mean, Leeds, from an attacking point of view, I favour them more than Newcastle to score. So I wouldn't personally do Luca Digne. I would probably just stay with Matty Cash. Apologies, Matty Target. I kind of put you on blast there for no reason. Kind of brought up you getting subbed at halftime. Sold Gundogan out of panic and dropped in team value to sign Grealish. So to me, that's a perfectly fine move, because Grealish to me is an upgrade over Gundogan anyway. If you guys, I think I said there was 3 players that I wouldn't mind transferring. It's Mahrez, it's Grealish, and then it's also going to be Greenwood. I think any of those 3 options are perfectly fine. For my own personal team, I was looking at Ben Rama, but because he faced Leicester this week, I was willing to be a little bit more patient with that move, even though he did rise in price. Leicester, West Ham, that game could be quite tight. So that's why I just wanted to hold on to Gundogan as long as possible, even if he was going to drop in price. But Grealish, I mean, that's a perfectly fine option. I would even argue that's a better option than Gundogan, so no stress there. And I'm pretty sure there was a lot of people that did sell him, because, I don't know, at this stage of the season, I think a lot of people look at the price drops and they get really scared. They're like, oh my goodness, if this player is dropping in price, 1, I don't want to lose team value, and 2, it means a lot of managers are transferring him out, so I should do the same. But I think that as you kind of get on in FPL, you realize that the price rises aren't that important, to be honest. And I think this season I'm trying to not do that. Slamming X3 saying, what have you done with the Dayvy, the maths teacher? So I've put him away. I've put him away till next season, or maybe if we have a super high finish, I'll bring out the suit for like the game week 38 deadline stream or something like that. But right now, we're going to stick to the flannel and the Mo Salah shirt, because hopefully the shirt becomes good luck, and then I can wear it every single week and we just captain Mo Salah till game week 38. Jandre saying, thank you, I do appreciate that. Good luck for this week, United Liverpool. So I personally agree with you, Jandre, because when I watch Liverpool against Norwich, I think the scoreline, although I think it was deserved, I don't think Liverpool played that well. And you can trust me because I'm a Liverpool fan, so I had to watch the full 90. Didn't watch the United game because usually I don't want to put myself through that every single week. But I think on current form, United do look better. And also, you could argue that the defense is worse in my opinion. So I can understand if you guys want to go Bruno Fernandes. I think I'm probably playing it boring and safe, and I'm just going for Salah, unfortunately. I know I said that I would probably bottle it in the team selection, and that's exactly what I've done. So that's why we're drinking water today out of a cup, not a bottle, because we don't want to kind of double jinx it. But hopefully Salah can still provide the goods. But I think both of them return. It's just who kind of scores the high return. Captain Salah or Bruno? So that's hopefully we answered that question, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be asking that this week. For me, it's like a real 50-50. I think Salah's the safe option because although they're kind of owned by the same amount of people, I do think Salah will be captained by more options. It's an interesting fact there because I do think in the FPL community, for example, people on Twitter, Reddit, that sort of thing, I think it's probably like 70-30 in terms of them. But in terms of the casual managers, I think the recency bias is going to come super into effect. And because Bruno scored a hat-trick last week, I think most people captain Bruno this week. And I think we're going to see that it's going to kind of even itself out. But I do still think that Salah's the safe option, whereas I think Bruno, I think he has the high ceiling compared out of the two. And that's just, I guess, how you got to look at it. And if you look at Liverpool, I think if Liverpool score, it might not be Mo Salah involved. It could be Mane, Jota, Firmino, any of them. Whereas with United, it's pretty much going to either be Bruno getting the goal, Bruno getting the assist, I think. I don't know. I just thought, I know I'm kind of talking myself into captaining Bruno here, but I think that either of them are good options. And unfortunately, if you want to flip a coin, I wouldn't even kind of ridicule that. Vinny saying, not thinking Ailing punting on this week, clean sheet on the cards for Leeds. So in terms of my own team, Vinny, I don't know who I would replace Ailing with. I could maybe take out like an Antonio, but I don't really want to do that. And in terms of the defense, maybe like a Luke Shaw, but I think that Southampton, unless Armstrong's going to do something, I think that United's chances of a clean sheet are pretty good. So I can understand, like, if you have to play Ayling, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I think it would have been quite interesting if Gundogan didn't play. And that's the thing. I mean, maybe Ayling will play anyway because Gundogan won't play today. So that's something that you have to take into account. But if you have to play Ayling, not the worst in the world, but I don't think in my starting 11, I can really replace anyone. Will you keep 2 transfers for game week 4? So Malik, maybe let me give you guys a little bit of a spoiler here. I'm honestly considering taking Salah out next week. So my plan is to take Salah out, bring Son in, captain Son, then Salah might miss game week 4. They face Chelsea in game week 3 if you guys don't know, so that's why I'm thinking about taking him out. I think that game's going to be 0-0. It's a 0-0 on paper for me. And I mean, with Lukaku back, I mean, maybe Chelsea can even win that game probably. So they face Leeds in game week 4, that's Liverpool. And there is kind of talks about Mo Salah maybe missing that game because of the international qualifiers. So if Mo Salah plays Chelsea then misses Leeds, I'm probably going to ship him out, and then game week 5, I'll bring him back in for Bruno Fernandes. So that's kind of my plan so far. Whether that means I keep 2 transfers for game week 4, I don't know, because what might happen is next week I kind of take Mo Salah down and I upgrade another department. Who knows, but that's my current plan. And then in game week 7, I'm looking at Lukaku in. So I'm going to need some value. So maybe that's where I'm going to get the kind of money from downgrading Salah to Son, and then I need 0.5 to take Fernandes to Salah again. But it's still obviously very early days. I don't like to plan transfers too far ahead, especially when it's something as big as taking Mo Salah down. But that's my current thinking. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but I think that's pretty sensible logic, if I do say so myself. Aiden Lewis saying, hey Davey, just joined, is the only transfer Scarlett in this week. So Scarlett Johansson's not getting transferred in this week. I had him since the beginning, Aiden. He was my 4.5 forward. So there's been no transfers this week. So we are banking a transfer. And I can't see that changing unless we kind of get news early that maybe Gundogan is out. Then we'll have to change it. Go back to Bruno captain. I don't think I will. I think I'm not going to clickbait you guys into making a move in the last 10 minutes of the stream. I want you guys to be here because you enjoy it. So I don't think I'm going to be changing it that much. But as I said, I honestly can't fault going for Bruno or Salah this week. It's such a 50-50 for me. I don't know why. Maybe because last week we saw how much of an impact having a home crowd is. Maybe that's what's just kind of edging me around. And I'm probably just being like a Liverpool fan here, and I'm just getting my hopes up, and then Burnley are going to win 1-0. Salah didn't score versus Burnley in the last 5 games. So you can, if you're one of those managers that bank it on history, then I can understand that. But for me, I don't really give too much weight to history because I kind of feel like every football game's different. But if you are one of those managers that take it on history, then that's 100%, then you can go for Bruno Fernandes. That's what I'm saying about FPL, is like everyone tries to go for the right solution. But we only know the right solution after the game week has ended. So don't try and kind of validate your decision to make it the right decision when it's an unpredictable game. So that's why I'm saying Bruno, Salah, as long as it's your gut, at the end of the game week, you won't be disappointed because you went with who you thought would score the most points. And that's what I always say, just because I do something doesn't mean that that's the right move. And then that's when it's the best. When I come in the comments next week and someone's saying, oh, I told you that Son was going to score against Man City, because there was someone that told me that. So credit to him. And that's what you guys can. You can come into my comments, all guns blazing, and you can tell me about what you predicted. Do you think Fabinho will start? Unfortunately, you guys haven't heard. Fabinho's father passed away yesterday, as far as I know. So obviously a very sensitive time for him and his family. And there's kind of 2 ways that football players do. Is that either one, they kind of take it back to the family. It's going to be a tough time because I think that Fabinho's family is in Brazil. So I don't know if he's going to be exactly allowed to travel, because with Alisson, when his father passed away, he wasn't allowed to travel. But then you kind of get the side that they want to stay with family, grieve a little bit, or you get the other side where they kind of want to play because it's either what their father wanted them to do, or they can like have a tribute. So if Fabinho does play today, I think you're going to expect an absolute worldie from him, because obviously that's such a hectic thing to go through. Sivanthi, thank you for becoming a member. I do appreciate it, brother. Hopefully you enjoy the little star player badge next to you. It does change color as you progress. So I think we do have a couple of 1-year subscriptions that have, I can't remember the exact color, but You get what I'm saying. So you are currently a purple star player, but hopefully you will improve that over the season. But thanks a lot for becoming a member. I do appreciate it, brother. Tsimikas or Harrison to start. If you have Trent, I would be quite tempted to go with Tsimikas as a double up, because I think you're putting all your eggs in one basket, but you're also doing it quite cleverly, because I do think it's quite a good game for Liverpool from a defensive point of view, especially because Virgil's back. Because if Virgil and Matip weren't back for Liverpool, I would probably question this, but because they are, those are probably the two best kind of defenders headering the ball, and that's usually what Burnley do. They kind of pump balls up long, and then they just kind of hope for the best. Tyron Swart saying, how's it, Dayvy? Knee jerked. I transferred out Gundogan for Benrahma. Holding thumbs. 100% a logical transfer. At the start of the game week, we obviously thought that Gundogan was going to be missing out. So I can understand that move. And my personal favorite was Benrahma as well. I just think that maybe this week it'll be a little bit of a closer game than maybe people are expecting. G-Ball saying right here, yellow. So yes, you can see there. G-Ball's yellow. Rafa and Reza's red. And then Sivanthi, you are purple. Pull better with Fabinho, that's what I'm asking. So 100% I agree with that, and I saw a little bit of a stat there on Twitter about that. So I do agree with you. It's really hard to kind of say what's going to happen there. I honestly don't know, kind of. Aston Villa, Traore is injured. Who can I go for? Benrahma, Souček, or Sarr? I think Benrahma is my current favorite. I don't think I would go for Souček. I think it's between Ismaila Sarr and Benrahma. I think Benrahma edges it for me because I think in game week 3 and 4 he has great fixtures, and that's why I think you can kind of ride on that West Ham train until they get Europa League, and then there might be some rotation. So you're afraid of captaining Bruno. I guess you can say it's almost like there's a little bit of an element of being afraid because of the effective ownership, but I don't think there's going to be too much between Mo Salah and Salah. Between Mo Salah and Bruno Fernandes, in terms of the effective ownership, to be honest, because I think the FPL community is so small that the more casual managers, I don't like to call them that, but it's just the name for them, they'll go for Bruno because of kind of that recency bias that we always talk about in FPL. Jason saying, hi mate, bench Tsimikas, Luka Digne or Tony. I wouldn't bench Tony. I think I would bench Luka Digne because they are facing Leeds. I think it is it a Leeds home fixture? Yes, it is a Leeds home fixture. So then I think I would, because Leeds at home are, if I have to think of like a team that's going to perform well at home, I kind of think of Leeds, if you know what I'm saying. So I think that they will score in that one. So I would probably bench Luka Digne. It's a little bit harsh to do because I think he's a great option, but I think out of those options you have, it's not great. Akil saying, I took Gundogan out for Benrahma. Didn't take any chances. Pep probably won't start Gundogan and he looks so threatening. So that is true. It depends on kind of the setup they do, but I would kind of argue that you're probably basing it on game week 1 where they face Spurs. And now they're going to face Norwich, who will 100% park the bus. I think we're going to see the Norwich players basically be in the row of seats behind them. I think that's how far they're going to be up on the field. So I think Gundogan, although he played maybe more as a CM in the Spurs game, I think probably against Norwich he's going to find some space in between. And I thought in the Spurs game he was getting quite forward. I always saw him around the box they would kind of shift it out wide, then Gundogan will come on the edge of the box or sometimes in the box. So that's why I think if he's going to play, it's a Man City player, I would probably bring in the goalkeeper. I'd probably bring in Edison against Norwich because he has a chance of scoring probably. That's just how it is. Jason, thanks for becoming a member. Gladly appreciated. You have a blue star, so I don't know if that means you're a new member or an old member. So if you're back from being a member, so welcome back. Thanks, Jason. I do appreciate it. Play Ayling or Sufal. If you have Harvey Barnes, then I think it's easy. You just play Ayling. That's a really tough one to go by. I think I trust the West Ham defense a little bit more than the Leeds defense, and that's why I think I might be slightly leaning towards him. And it is also a home game for West Ham, so I think that should be quite good. I'm up saying you never read my comment. So the irony about that comment is it's always when people say you never read my comment that I see their comment. So I do apologize, but sometimes the chat goes quite good. Akil saying, you're making me scared, Dayvy. So what am I making you scared about? I do apologize. Hopefully it's not the face cam or something like that. Buendia is so less owned. Is he good enough? So Footballaholic, I think the thing with Buendia is I'm 100% keeping him for the 3 opening game weeks. That's just going to be how it is. I tend to not judge players on one game week, and I think Aston Villa at home can bounce back. And that's probably the game that I'm most hyped about because I own Danny Ings and I own Buendia, and I saw Newcastle be super kind of defensively unsure last week against West Ham. So I'm really hyped about this game, and I'm hoping that Buendia can end up getting a return. Vincent saying, how's it, guys? Please play Foster in goal. Do it for all. Vincent, why would I play Foster in goal? Then he ends up playing, and I think it's a worse fixture for him. So, Vincent, I'm not going to do that. I do appreciate everyone that supports me. But, Vincent, that's a little bit crazy, I think, in my opinion. And no electricity outages. Luckily, we were meant to have on Friday night. There was kind of a national announcement, but luckily it hasn't happened yet. So, holding thumbs that it doesn't happen during the stream. St. Maximum or Tony. So, I'm a Gucci fanboy, so I'm always going to be going for St. Maximum. But I think in terms of reliability, I think that Tony looks quite good, and I actually am quite jealous, and I'm a little bit scared of him against Crystal Palace this week. Loazi saying 500 likes, let's get there before the deadline, people. So I don't even know if there's 500 people watching, but if there is, that would be appreciated. But obviously only like it if you're enjoying the content. I'm not going to be one of those people that forces you to smash the like button and everything like that. But thanks, Loazi, for that reminder. G-Ball saying, will be interesting to see how Lukaku plays this weekend. I think that this is probably one of the best fixtures to have Lukaku play, because I personally don't think that the centre-backs for Arsenal are looking that strong or that physical. And I think that Lukaku might have a field day. And I'm a little bit worried about that, because if he does, the ownership and the price is going to go up drastically, because not a lot of people do own him. Differential captain, Dayvy. So differential captain, we got to look at the fixtures that I'm favouring. First of all, it's got to be the Man City fixture. I think that those players are severely under-captained considering how good that fixture is. And I think if I owned a Mahrez or a Grealish, I would be super tempted. It's just kind of because I do have Gundogan, and he isn't the most attacking player that I'm not looking at him. But if I had a Mahrez and I had a Grealish, I would 100% look at them. Unfortunately, with Kevin De Bruyne, I don't think I would probably consider him, because there is a little bit of a worry about injury. But I think in terms of that, then the next two fixtures, Liverpool and Manchester United. We got Greenwood for United, a great option. Then we also obviously have like a Sadio Mane. I wouldn't look at Jota or Firmino, because we don't really know who's going to start out of them. But between Mane and Salah, I think you're pretty safe. Not Salah. Don't go for Salah as a differential captain. Go for Mane or Greenwood or Man City. So I just want to have a drink of water here. We also have another member, Sky. Thank you for becoming a member, Sky. I do appreciate it. You also have the blue banner, so I think that you are a new member. So I do appreciate that, and thank you for dropping by. If it is kind of your first season playing FPL, good luck. First season on the channel, welcome. If you've been kind of watching for a while, welcome back. Andy saying, how's it, Dayvy? Missing the suit this week. Are you annoyed? Gundogan has dropped in price, and you're out. Now that's happened. So Andy, maybe if I had to bring in a 7.5, but because Gundogan is already 7.5, 7.4 now, obviously. All the options that I was considering were cheaper than him. And I'm not really trying to focus on price rises too much. I know they can be important later in the season, but I just think that if Gundogan manages to have a good game, then it will 100% be worth it. And if he doesn't, I can say I bought a ticket to the raffle, and unfortunately I didn't win. More odds on probably not winning. It is a lottery, but I think that if Gundogan, if I took him out and then he banged, I wouldn't have been able to forgive myself. Might have had to end this channel, because that would have been quite bad. Sivanti saying, would you captain Mahrez or Grealish, bro? Probably Mahrez, because I think he might be on penalties still. So that's probably the edges it for me just. And also maybe Grealish plays at that centre mid slot, and I always do prefer the wingers, especially against the Norwich side. We saw with Liverpool how the wingers were having quite a lot of fun, so I do think he's probably edges it for me in terms of Mahrez. Sky saying, I've been following you since the Euros. You really helped me out. I appreciate your content, so thanks a lot. It's actually quite interesting. On my Euros videos at the end of the season, people were asking me if I was going to be doing FPL content. So it was actually quite interesting to see that there was people watching the Euros content that didn't actually know I did FPL content. So thank you, Sky. I do appreciate it. Hopefully your Euros was good. I personally am having a little bit of nostalgia about that competition, because it was quite a fun competition to watch. Should I transfer out Barnes? I wouldn't, especially because they face Norwich next week and he just signed a new contract. So you got to kind of think that Barnes is going to be settled in that lineup, and also because Brendan Rodgers said that the lineup is going to be similar to last weekend. I wouldn't sell Barnes, especially before game week 3. What I need to do with Faltman. So the easier situation with Faltman is just bench him, but you probably wouldn't be asking that if you had to play him. So unfortunately with him, I would keep him, because I think you have to. Brighton's fixtures over the season at 4.5 will be worth it. And he is just sick as far as I know. So I think he will come back to training relatively soon. If you have to play him, that's going to be quite a hard thing to do. Zaid saying, what do you think about owning South American and African players because they will go on international duty when they have to quarantine for 10 days? So that is true. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of news on that because apparently there's going to be a meeting with FIFA to kind of see if the clubs can block this. But I think it's going to be, we're going to have to get more news about it. We can have speculation right now, but I don't want to offer like fake news to you guys. But as just know that there is a potential for it to happen. But it has kind of hindered me a little bit. I think if I was to take out Gundogan this week, I probably wouldn't have looked at taking a player like Rafinha because of that news. Preston with the super chat saying, good to finally see your face. Have been subscribed for you just for some time. Thought you were Indian. All the best. So Preston, unfortunately I'm not. I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing or something like that, but I'm not. And but thank you for subscribing to the channel and being a viewer for some time. This has been the first video that you've watched this season because I did have my face reveals quite early on in the preseason. But thank you for the super chat, Preston. Ease accounting. We make it easy. Hi, Dayvy. Rudiger or Shaw? Shaw for me because I just think the fixture is maybe tougher on paper for Chelsea, although I don't think, especially if Lacazette and Aubameyang aren't going to be playing, I don't think that Arsenal's threat in front of goal is going to be good against Chelsea anyway. But I think that Shaw, just because of that attacking threat. No Brentford players, so the Brentford player that I was looking at if I took out Gundogan was going to be Mbeumo. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I do apologize if I'm not. I know that the E and the U sometimes get mixed up, but I was considering him because he looks quite cheap. But in terms of Tony, I'm quite jealous if you guys managed to fit him in. But unfortunately, with my structure, I couldn't. Robbo back in full training. He will take Tsimikas' place. So not this week. I think he'll take it next week against Chelsea. And also, I don't think it's worth kind of rushing Robbo back into a fixture if he's going to get like kind of the injury again. So that's why I think that we will be fine for one more game week with Tsimikas. Havertz worth to keep for this game week. I think Havertz will start. So if you're worried about a start, then don't worry. And it is Arsenal. And we saw them lose to Brentford. So he could end up performing quite well. It depends on who you want to bring in. If you want to bring in a Grealish for the long term, then do that. These moves are always kind of easier if you want to captain the player that you bring in. Joshua saying, thoughts on taking out Rafinha for Buendia? This is a tough one, Joshua, because I do have Buendia in my side and I don't have Rafinha. But I personally think that if you have Rafinha, you keep him. Especially because if we do get news about him not maybe going to Brazil or something like that, then he's basically gold because Leeds are such a good side from an attacking point of view. So Joshua, I think at this stage of the season when free transfers are so scarce and vital, I probably wouldn't do that move. It's a little bit sideways for me, to be honest. Jiba, what's the transfer plan with Tsimikas? Surely he drops in value once casuals see Robbo's fit. So let me just quickly see how the ownership. So he is owned by 27, so that is actually quite a lot of managers. I mean, if he drops in price, then he drops in price. But I think we might have a little bit of a buffer considering that he does have a price rise right now. And if he scores this weekend, he'll boost up even more in price. So it's a little bit of a tough situation to be in because with my own personal bench, I have to bring in a 4.5 defender or something like that. So we'll see. But I think personally, it'll probably be quite a long time since I kind of look at him to what I do. I'm thinking about the Morris captain. What do you think, mate? I think if you're going to go differential, I would go Man City. But I also think that just owning Man City assets is good enough from a differential point of view. So it all depends on like how you want to be, how you play FPL. If you play it super maverick, take a lot of risks, then go for it. But I think that Salah and Bruno are perfectly good captaincy options. And as I said, owning Man City assets is good enough anyway because they're so lowly owned that I don't know if I would stretch that. But if you want to go differential, then 100%. Salah's stats versus Burnley aren't great. Does that sway your decision? So Andy, I guess it has to because when you look at a captain, you look at the stats. But I also just think that there has been games when Liverpool have put Burnley to the sword and maybe Salah's been a little bit unlucky not to score in that one. So I just think that if you are kind of the manager that looks at history, then 100%. But I personally don't put too much weight on that. As I said earlier on, football's unpredictable, so you never kind of know what's going to happen. And that's why I think that Salah can still do well, even though his stats maybe against them in the past couple seasons have been bad. Salah or Dallas or Harrison? Pretin asks, will Dallas get higher points since he's playing midfield now? So Dallas and Harrison are both midfielders. So I would just go with Harrison because he's a winger. With Dallas, I would probably only play him if I had to. That's my kind of take on it. Prediction for Wolves vs Spurs game, I have both Son and Jimenez. So Joshua, my prediction I think on Super Brew was 1-1. I don't know why. Sorry for that. Sorry for hitting my desk. I don't know why. I just think that Wolves can sometimes make it a little bit tough for the better teams. And I think that maybe Spurs, although they like to counter-attack, I think that Wolves are going to play like the opposite to that. I think they're going to be the ones that want to counter with someone like a Traore. So I think that it's going to be hard for maybe Spurs to break them down. But I think in terms of your options, I would play both of those, as you probably are doing already. Vinny Brown saying, big Leeds win today. That hopefully will be quite a good. I don't know if you said Mott as in not, so I don't know if you're joking there, but I mean it will be quite a big win if they can manage to beat Everton. Last attempt, when Benrahma in, Barnes out. I wouldn't do that this week, Sup, because Barnes is playing. Who's Barnes playing? So they're basically playing each other. So I think that's a little bit of a sideways move, and also then Barnes has Norwich next week, that he could even be a differential captain. So I think I would keep Barnes this week. Man United has their 7-1 win over Southampton as they not sway things. So James, it might if they had 11 men on the field, but as far as I know in that game, the one Southampton defender or midfielder got sent off in like the 10th minute or something. So I don't think we can look into that stat too much. But I understand what you're saying. I mean, if you're trying to convince yourself that Bruno's the better option is that stat, then just go for Bruno because you're trying to convince yourself it's the right decision anyway. Are you from Durban? Dayvy and I'm not from Durban. If so, you should come to the Liverpool Supporters Club. So that is the thing that I want to do when I come to Durban, is I want to go to the Supporters Club because I think it might be the biggest one in South Africa. I might be wrong in that, but 100% if I make my way to Durban, I will do that. And Naz Khan saying, how's it, bud? Hope you well. Thoughts on the Chelsea defense, please? So I am well. Hopefully you are too, brother. Chelsea defense, please. I think they're great options to go for. Even though their fixtures are a little bit tough now against Liverpool and Arsenal, I think they can keep clean sheets in both of those. But I think maybe right now there are better options to look at elsewhere. But if you are set on them at that price point, like a Rudiger, he comes in a little bit cheaper than the others, then go for it. But the fullbacks worry me. With Alonso now looking to be in semi-good form, I guess, I just fear some rotation there. KDB, any news on him? So as of I know, he didn't train or something like that, and they're just monitoring him. Todd Carlson saying, yo Dave, I missed you, bro. Thanks, Todd. Thanks for joining back. You always are quite active in my stream, so I do appreciate you joining back. Phoenix T saying Gundogan price drop. So yes, unfortunately, we did have a Gundogan price drop. But if he bangs today, how many points is that worth? So we can kind of equate it. So 0.1 in price is worth 20 points. Can we say that? Hopefully he gets a nice Hattie against Norwich. Definitely has the potential to. I think that Man City Norwich game is going to be quite high scoring. I don't know about you guys, but I'm thinking like a 5-0, 6-0. I don't know why, I just have this feeling. And that's why I think that Man City could be good options to captain. Sell Mane for Mahrez. I would only do that, Timothy, if you want to captain Mahrez. I've said this a lot. It's the same thing with wanting to take hits. It makes the transfer so much easier if you're going to captain the player that you bring in. If you're going to be taking out Mahrez, if you want to take out Mane to bring in Mahrez, I wouldn't do that because it's too sideways. Whereas if you're going to be going for Mahrez captain, it makes it a lot clearer. I just joined the stream. How come Gundogan wasn't an option for captaincy? Just because he might not play. That's a simple reason for that. If he was guaranteed to play, then maybe. Mikey saying, I hope Gundogan hat-trick today to punish those salads. I mean, it would be absolute kind of FPL drama if that happened. I wouldn't be against it because I do own him, obviously. But I think I would be you have to look at the other side of things. And I think there was logic behind the move, to be honest. So I would feel sorry for those people if it did end up happening. G-Ball, the last time we had that feeling when Norwich had no fit, they somehow beat Man City. That's one thing that I wanted to say on Twitter, but because it's the home fixture for Man City and not the away fixture, I wanted to say if you guys played FPL like 2 seasons ago when Norwich were back in the Prem, I think it was game week 3 or so when Pookie and Cantwell, they got like double-digit hauls against Man City somehow, and a lot of people benched them. We didn't. We played them, and we got like 30 points, so I was quite happy. So I wanted to say, don't bench Pookie and Cantwell against Man City, but because I think in that same season, in the away fixture, they lost like 5-0. I couldn't say that this week, but maybe later on. Good luck, Davey. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother. Hopefully it's a good game week for you and stay safe. Liverpool score predictions. Anywhere near that Norwich one? No ways, G-Rid. I think that I predicted like 4-0, 5-0 for Man City, and then I think I said 2-0 for Liverpool. So I don't think it's going to, I definitely won't think it's going to be as high scoring. I think that's kind of a no-brainer for me. Now what should be? Now watch Liverpool be 5-0 and now Norwich are going to beat Man City. I have Kyle Walker-Peters. Should I stick with him? So Joshua, I think it is Kyle Walker-Peters, but you guys, you can correct me if I'm wrong there. If it is Kyle Walker-Peters, the defender, then I would just stick with him. But I don't even know if he's playing right now. Sorry, that question's come out of left field for me. I have no idea about him. Zvi saying, great chat, respect. Thank you. Thank you that you're enjoying it. How's it from Plet? Hopefully I'm saying Plet right, Steve. It's the place in South Africa, not Pleat or something like that. Play Tony or Barnes. I would probably play Tony in your situation, just because I think it's an easier fixture. Ashwin saying, hey Dayvy, selling Jota for Gundogan. That's an interesting move. Just maybe wait, Ashwin. We got 15 minutes or so. If we do get early team news, just maybe wait for that. Because if Jota starts, I think you should keep Jota. Samrat saying, whom should I bench today? Amarty or Sufal? I would probably go with the home team and also the more attacking player, which is going to be Sufal. Saint saying, how's it, Dayvy? Captain Mahrez over Bruno Salah? Only if you want to go differential, because I think that owning Mahrez is differential enough, to be honest. So I think that Salah and Bruno are basically too good to give up on, if you know what I'm saying. Should I drop Jota for Mbeumo or Benrahma? Eric, wait as long as possible for that move, and then I would probably, depends on if you need the money. If you need the money, Mbeumo or go for Benrahma. Is KDB fit? I don't think KDB is as fit as he could be, but he could still start, but apparently he didn't train. So that's why I was saying. Yachts Plets in South Africa. Steve, so what an absolute pleasure to be in Plet right now. I'm very jealous of you, and hopefully you're having a good time there on the coast. Quick question. Havertz for Gundogan or Jota? Sky, I probably would just keep Havertz, to be honest. Because to me, Gundogan and Jota are both rotation risks, and they might not even start. So that's what I'm saying. So I think I would probably just keep Havertz, because I'm pretty sure he will play against Arsenal. 15 minutes to go. Make necessary transfers, if any. I'm not doing any transfers my own side, but if you guys are doing transfers, captaincy locks, please do that. As I said, we're going with the King, Mo Salah, this week for captaincy. If you guys are going Bruno, 100%. If you're going for Man City, I want to see those scores at the end of the game week, because I think the Man City assets are going to bang. Buendia or Sarr to start. Who do Watford play? Watford play Brighton. If you have Sanchez, like you probably do, then I would bench Sarr. But if you don't have Sanchez, I think I favour Sarr slightly more than Buendia, because he's more integral to Watford. Grealish in for Barnes. I don't have City assets. I would be tempted by that move, but then also you might want Barnes next week. I don't know. I think you have to do that move, to be honest. Like Nate, it's going to have to come down to your call, but like I would be so tempted by Grealish in for Barnes, because I think Grealish starts this week as well, and it is Norwich. I don't know. I think I would probably do that, to be honest, Nate. Apologies for the kind of back and forth. Do you have any plans with 2 free transfers next week? So Todd, the plan right now is to maybe take out Salah for Son, and then we'll look to see what we do with the other one. Greenwood might be benched. Go for Grealish. So if you're talking to me, I can't afford Grealish because I don't have any money in the bank. But if you're talking to other people, I can understand that. Akil saying, you never walk alone. Come on, you Reds. I want to be shouting that extra hard, and hopefully Mo Salah scores a hat-trick because of it. Lucas is saying, who do you suggest to transfer in if you were to take Tsimikas out for Game Week 3? I probably would look at a 4.5 option, and just whoever has like the best fixtures. Maybe a Brighton asset if they performed quite well this week, but the 4.5s, there's not too much between them, to be honest, so I would just kind of go with a player that I think would do well. No worries, Nate. Hopefully it helped you make a decision. I don't think it did personally, but I'm pretty sure whatever you do, it will end up working out. Is Gundogan fit to start? He's fit to start, but he still might not. That's the general consensus on it. So we can be happy that he's fit, but we can be sad because it's Man City and it's Pep Guardiola, and we can never kind of predict what he's going to do. I think I'm slightly favouring a start because De Bruyne is out. I think if De Bruyne is out, then Gundogan will fit in that midfield slot. But if Kevin De Bruyne is going to start, then I think that Gundogan will 100% be benched. Eric saying, tag you on Twitter in some Liverpool team news. I'll go check that out now, Eric. So let me check the team news. Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys this, but please don't hold this against me if it's wrong. But apparently, this is the team sheet for Liverpool. Alisson Becker, Virgil van Dijk, Thiago. What? James Milner, Naby. I don't know if this is actually like, because this, what is this formation even? Are they playing Jordan Henderson? Sorry, I'm just trying to work out this lineup because... Oh, so they're playing... So they said they're playing... Okay, so apparently Tsimikas is benched, but I don't know. So that's what the team news says. I don't know if it is. But the thing is, we can't do anything about it anyway, so I'm just going to leave it. And I'm going to hope that Ayling will come on. It might be fake, I don't know. To me, it looked a bit weird. Because it had... So I guess the midfield is not that strange because it was Thiago, Henderson, and not James Milner, Naby Keita. And I don't know if they'd play Henderson and Thiago together because they've just come back sort of from injury. That's the only thing I'm kind of worrying about it. So the source is just some random guy that posted a photo on Twitter. So I don't know. It's a little bit... I wouldn't trust it. That's why I'm not going to read it to you guys because I don't think that it could be right. It could be right, it could be wrong. The thing you have to know is that Salah's starting. Salah's starting, and that's all that we have to worry about. I don't know if... The thing is, I said this in the team selection. Tsimikas, for me, especially the last 20 minutes, he looked shocking against Norwich. I don't know if it was kind of fitness or something like that, but his head was completely gone. I don't really understand why they would play James Milner though against Burnley because Burnley aren't going to attack that much on the wings. G-Ball saying the only reason I think Gundogan won't play is because Pep said he's fit and Pep is a fraud. That made me laugh there. So what's the Man City lineup news? I think that's only at 4 p.m. my time, so I don't think we'll get any news on that one. Start Ayling or Tony. Ayling is giving me Dallas vibes last season, hauling against top seeds. Tony 100%. I mean, that's a very easy kind of decision for me. Tell about Jota. So apparently Jota is going to be benched, which I don't think is a massive surprise. The thing about Jota though is that even if he comes off the bench, which he'll come off the bench with 20 minutes to go against a tired Burnley defense, that could still be points. So I think I might still keep him. Unless you can bring in a Man City option or Greenwood, then maybe consider that. Did you take a hit to bring in Omobad Medeli and Scarlett? So homie, I didn't. I had them from game week 1. How's it, Dayvy? Also from South Africa. I was thinking about bringing in a City asset for Havertz, who's most likely to pay, or who would you recommend? So if you're going to be taking out a Havertz to bring in a City asset, my kind of hierarchy list is number 1 is going to be Mahrez. Number 2 is going to be Grealish. And then number 3 is literally whoever you can afford. That's basically my consensus on that. Are you South African, Mohammed? I am South African. Good or bad thing? I don't know. I think it's a pretty good thing. Makes me a little bit more different, I guess. Nazcon saying £5, just saying, cheers, Davey, my China. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for the donation. Appreciate it, Naz. Captain debate. Remember Salah faces the Luton? Yeah, so I saw that. So you I think the tweet, it doesn't have the picture that you posted, but it basically has the Southampton defense that didn't look great. So I can understand that. Third time lucky. St. Maximum or Ayling? Who do... I would start St. Maximum, 100%. Oh, wait. Oh, that's Smith Rowe. Go for Ayling. Sorry. I don't know why I thought it was St. Maximum. Go for Ayling in that case. Akil saying, just got the Liverpool news. Alisson starts. I should hope so. Hopefully Cancelo brings me some returns today. Hopefully he just starts. I think Optimus Prime, as long as he starts, that's points. So you just have to wait till about 3 p.m. wherever you are on the world, and then you should be getting some points there. Should I transfer out Smith Rowe for Ben Rama? I have 0.5 in the bank. Please help. I would probably do that if you can still afford it. I think that's a good move to do. Someone on Twitter says that Gundogan, Mahrez, and Sterling are starting. That would be quite a nice thing. As long as Gundogan starts, he can start at centre back, and I wouldn't mind. Trent Alexander-Arnold plays exactly. Madison or Barnes, Harvey Barnes. Dayvy, who's coming on your bench if Tsimikas doesn't start? It's going to be Ayling. I do apologize here, guys. I think my screen might be a little bit down. So I'll put it like that. And what we will do is I'm going to give you guys some time to warm up those questions, because I'm going to be doing a 5-minute fast question answer session here, because last time I did it for 1 minute and it was super anticlimactic. So if you guys do have a question, post it in chat and I'll try run through as many as possible. So we'll get warmed up for it and then we'll go. Okay, so first let's just cover the super chat. I think Pinnock is Willock, Amarty, Dyer, Mitchell, Cody for Feltman. Also, who would you target? I would go for... The only one that's nailed there is Cody for me, so that's what I would go. Davey saying, if Pogba back to defensive midfield, and Pogba is a great option. Okay, that could be the case. Did you do any changes? I didn't do any changes. Sufal or Ayling? I think I would go for Ayling in that case if you have Leicester assets. Why did you not captain Bruno? 50-50 for me. I think both are great options, and I just think that I trust Salah more. I think both will end up scoring. Will Matt Targett start? I think he will start. No transfers for you this week. No transfers. Is this the final team with captaincy? 100%. Whom to start, Ayling or Rafinha? I always favor the attacker, so Rafinha. Upgrade Benrahma to Gundogan. I don't think I would do that, Lewis. Captain, Salah, Targett, Ayling or Sufal. I would go for Ayling. So do not do any transfers this week. No transfers. Wilson versus Buendia. Hey bro, Ings or Wilson? Ings. And who are the best 4.5? I think Livramento from Southampton is probably the only one. Ings major captaincy differential? Yes, but I probably wouldn't do that. Is Diesel on your radar? He is. Benaiza had a price rise. Just came on the stream, and I say you change your cap from Bruno. Yeah, so Wesley, I've just kind of gone for Salah in the end. Bench Shaw or Rafinha? I would bench Rafinha. Why Salah captain over Bruno? Both are good options. I'm just going with Salah because I want to watch the Liverpool game and not hope that he doesn't score. Jota versus Gundogan versus Saar versus Buendia. Who should I pick? I'd pick Gundogan this week, but long term I would pick Saar. Gundogan or Benrahma? Gundogan this week. Gundogan captain for his double points haul tonight. Jason, he'll get a double points haul, but I wouldn't captain him. City no option. Should I worry? You shouldn't worry. It's not a 1 game week season. Man City lineup leaks, unfortunately nothing. Tsimikas played for sure. Liverpool just posted a picture with him. Okay, maybe that's true. Ben White is really a criminal offence this week, right? Maybe, but I've seen stranger things from Arsenal. Brownhill for, yes, that looks like a good move. But I wouldn't do it if you're going to have to bench him every single game week. Madison out for Barnes? No, that's too sideways. What do you think about Jota and Mahrez to Son and Benrahma next week? That looks very good. I would do that. Vincent, Talisman not travel to Burnley because it is at Anfield. Thank you very much for that, Vincent. Gundogan or Torres? I think this week, Torres. Jota to Greenwood, worth it? I think so if it's for a free transfer. Nice speed run. Nikki, this is a very slow speed run. I do apologize. Thoughts on Marcel? I wouldn't. Start Tsimikas or Antonio. Antonio, I always favor the attacker. Could you make more videos on fixture and play ratings after international break, please? 100%. Just drop it in my comments or my tweet or my Twitter DMs and just go into a bit more detail. Diesel in soon, not this week. Yes. Tony or Sufal. Tony, play Gundogan or Harrison. I have Ings as well. Double up and go for Buendia. Keep Havertz. I would. I don't think that's a massive kind of red flag to go for. Harrison or Benrahma. I would go with Harrison this week. Doing my last minute Gundogan captain thing again. G-Red hopefully it absolutely bangs for you. Tsimikas not starting. We don't know, but apparently he might not. But it's not the end of the world. DCL or Richarlison? DCL. Will Amarty start? I think he will. What about Lukaku? Game week 7. Waffles or pancakes? Waffles. Good luck everyone. Cheers. Thanks Akil. Bamford or Tony? Tony this week. Gundogan or Grealish? Grealish. I have Morris captain. Good luck, brother. Gundogan or Torres? Who to start? I think Torres. Do you think Stones will start today? That's a real 50-50. I probably wouldn't bank on it, but I think he should. Salah has only scored 1 game when Mike Dean was the ref. So, Lucas, if you want to go for referee stats, 100%. Good luck all, says Todd. Thank you. Barnes or Gundogan? Gundogan this week, Jacob. Are you going to sell Gundogan next week? Maybe, Wesley, but I don't know. Thoughts on Lukaku, game week 7? I'll look at him. Lucas Moore or Saw if you're on a wild card? I would go with Saw. Barnes captain, no. Ings captain, no. Greedash for captain. If you want to go differential, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Coca-Cola. Good luck, Dayvy. 1 minute left. Hi, that's so quick. You're not slow. Thank you, Saint. Keep Sancho, bring in Greenwood. Keep Sancho, Sufal versus Digne. I would go with Sufal. Macca's versus KFC, David. Both of them, Jason. Morris captain, only if you want to be differential. Sufal or Tsimikas. I would start Tsimikas and then have Sufal on the bench. Dennis or Rafinha? Rafinha. UK or USA? Kevin, I'm not going to answer that because that's going to cause too much controversy. Deadline over. So the deadline has passed. Thank you. That's actually good because you guys had to remind me that the deadline had passed for me to know. I was so busy reading comments. So thank you for that. Hopefully that was a better quick fire than last week. Is Buendia will be better than game week 1? I'm hoping so. I'm really hoping that Aston Villa are better. Because otherwise we're going to be in trouble because that's going to be quite bad. I'll probably keep them for another game week anyway. I think game week 4 is when I'll take them out. But hopefully this week they look quite good. But as Vincent is saying, time's up or pants down. 100% it's both of those. All the best. Everyone's saying good luck. So I'm so happy that the chat is so supportive. We're wishing each other good luck. So hopefully everyone has a massive game week this week. Hopefully there's another 100-point club. I mean, imagine how mental that would be. I think that Salah and Bruno will both bang. So whoever you captain in the end, even the Man City assets, I think they'll all do well. And we're all going to be having green arrows anyway at the end of the week. So don't worry, guys. It's going to be a good weekend. Stay safe wherever you are around the world. Hopefully you watch lots of football this week, but also just enjoy yourself overall. And hopefully you enjoyed the deadline stream. As I always say, I do appreciate you guys joining. And I'll see you guys for a lot of content coming next week. I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.